Alice, what you doing? What you doing? You wanna go hit some balls? You wanna hit some balls? How you doing, tubers? MIGMATIS Golf with another tips and tricks video for you. So I'm not at home and consequently I'm not really able to practice as I would practice usually, which, you know, go up to my driving range, whack some balls, or hit under my porch into my net. But I always try and practice where I can, when I can. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you that just because you can't be pounding on balls doesn't mean you can't be practicing effectively. So I don't really have the facilities here to you know, go at it at some balls, but there is a bit of space where I can hit some chip shots and, more importantly, work on one aspect of the game in order to improve that I think is really important, which is slow motion drills and little tiny half or three-quarter swings. Now, I made a video a while ago entitled "Slow It Up, Bro," which kind of highlights the importance of really doing slow motion drills and all that. And interestingly enough, the video hasn't really received that many views. Cue, go watch it. But I think this is an area of the game that gets overlooked massively for various reasons. And as I go through this video, it might actually turn into a rant, because I think there are numerous reasons why this gets overlooked. Some of them are time constraints, and a lot of them are financial reasons, really, if I'm perfectly honest. I mean, you go to a pro for an hour's lesson, you know, it's not cheap, it costs you some money, and the last thing they want to do is to have you leave there with the impression that you've only, you know, hit 3 balls and just made a bunch of practice swings, moving the club really slowly. There's no enjoyment in that. So a pro wants you to come back to enjoy it so he can get more money. Now, I'm not saying all teaching pros are bad in that way. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that subconsciously this is how humans work, you know. They want you to come back. It's their livelihood. They want you to enjoy it. That's maybe a better way of putting it. They want you to enjoy it, and we all get great enjoyment out of hitting the middle of this thing here with a ball. You know, that sensation through your body is what we all live to do again. And so I think that stops teaching pros actually making you do these drills. They might tell you about them and send you home to do them, but you won't be actually doing them right there as you're having your lesson. So I think when you go for lessons, that is one of the major hindrances that stops you actually doing this method of practicing. And of course, the other major hindrance to you doing this is you. Okay? When I say you, I mean you. Do you actually want to get better? Do you? Because, you know, you say you do, but you're probably not willing to do the things you have to do. Why? Because slow motion practice, it's boring, okay? It's really boring, and it's effort. You've probably heard the term deep practice if you've watched enough videos on YouTube on golf. And it's not just to do with golf, okay? Any other sports, they use the same term, deep practice. Now, deep practice is a level of concentration that you need to apply. Sorry, I'm laughing because I can hear Alice chewing on golf balls in the background here. Alice, don't chew my balls. You'll see she'll probably chase balls later on. She's funny. Yeah, going back to deep practice, it's a level of concentration and dedication and control of body parts that is difficult. It's very difficult. It's like studying. You know, we all hated studying when we were kids, you know. Well, unless you were a nerd, then you loved it. But you know, it's not enjoyable. It's hard, you know. Tough on that brain, right? And you know, deep practice in golf is not only tough on the body, but it's really tough on the brain. It's really kind of a mental exercise more than anything else. And you're not going to get better unless you do it, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate. If your practice routine, at least I'd say a third of your practice is not the kind of practice I'm going to show you, you ain't getting better, my friend. It's not going to happen, okay? Because, like I've explained before, the golf swing happens really, really fast. And you have to slow it down to a point where you can actually control the body movements to create new muscle memory, get rid of the bad habits before you can speed it up again. When you go and practice the way you probably practice, which is up to your driving range or, I don't know, somewhere else, and you go at it full speed, trying to change something, you can't, the body can't do it. When something's moving that fast, the body can't use the conscious mind. It has to use the subconscious mind to control those things because they're happening so quickly. Somebody throws you an apple, poof, you just catch it, right? That's ballistics. That's computation of trajectory and where I got to put my hand and spatial awareness and all that. All those things, there's millions of computations that the brain is doing. The conscious mind can't do those. It relies on the subconscious mind to do it because it's much better, much faster at doing it. And so when we move body parts fast in most sports and all that, it's subconscious mind doing it. It's years and years and years of repetition consciously finally go into the subconscious mind and allow us to just react and do those things, okay? So if you want to change those things, you're going to have to slow it all back down. So I'm going to demonstrate for you what I do. You know, like I said, anytime I get a bit of time and I can't enjoy whacking balls at full speed, I do this kind of practice because it actually does make you better. All right, so here we go. I'm just set up here. I don't know if you can see, I've got a little tiny artificial mat here to hit balls off of. That's just so I don't chew up the grass here. And I got my trusty friend Alice. Sometimes she retrieves the balls for me, sometimes she doesn't. So if you hear me screaming at her to get out of the way, don't panic. It's not animal cruelty. Okay, so I got my little mat set up. I got some balls. Here we are, so I'm properly warmed up. I did all that before I turned the camera on. And first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick one thing, just one thing that I'm working on. Now, personally, at the moment, I'm working on sequencing my golf swing, which means I've broken it down into a few distinct parts that I go through and stop at. Thank you, Alice, for stealing my ball. That I stop at in order to feel where those positions are. So let me demonstrate. This is what I'm working on. My setup. I have a tendency to take the club away inside. So I'm working on getting the club to there. Then I'm working on bringing it to the top by turning and not by lifting. So my club gets here, I turn it to the top. Now, the sequence here is I'm learning on squatting and bringing the club to there, and then turning through with my body to square the club face, okay? That's what I'm working on right now. And in order to achieve that, I can't just go at it full speed. I have to take the club to position number one. I almost close my eyes sometimes. I feel, what does that feel like in my hands? What does it feel like in my shoulders? What does it feel like in my legs? How much of my hips turned? All those things. Take the time to perceive what everything is doing, okay? Now from there, I want to turn the club with my body, not just lift my hands like I normally do. Turn the club with my body, okay? Now I feel that. What does that feel like? What's the stretch in my back feel like? What are my legs doing? Bring the club down. Club is back down. Feel what that position is like. Turn through with your body. I see my trusty friend Brian has brought me back some golf balls. Thank you, Brian. He's trying to balance them on the top of my car. Fail. Thank you. Okay, so those are the things that I'm working on, okay? And now, I just don't do that once or twice. I will spend 15 minutes doing this. Set up, take it to there, turn the club up to the top, feel what it's like, bring it down to there, square it with my body, okay? I'm gonna do that a bunch of times. Once I've done that, in those compartmentalized positions, I'm going to try and chain it all together, try and blend it all together. More difficult than you think. So here we are, I'm set up, very slow, it gets to there without stopping. I'm turning it. Okay, that is a slow motion swing. That is how slowly you're going to have to move your body over and over again to ingrain muscle memory. Anything faster than that, it ain't gonna go in, okay? Take my word for it. It ain't gonna go in unless you do it like that. Okay, so practice can't all be completely boring like that, otherwise you're not gonna do it. So dedicate part of your half an hour or something to that, okay? Just do those things. People are gonna ask you on the range, what the hell are you doing? Forget about them. They're still going to be slicing it next week, okay? You're trying to get better. So, Alice, can you move, please? Come on, move. Okay, here we go. Now's the fun bit, okay? I've got about 50 yards to play with here, and this is a 9-iron, okay? So we're just using using the small clubs. We're not planning to hit this ball very far. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit this ball, but we're going to hit it at such a slow speed it's barely going to go 30 or 40 yards. So here's the game. Set up. Same thing. Take it to the top. Get it going round. Bring it back down. Hit it. Okay? That's the plan. That's what you're going to do. You're going to hit at least 20 balls like that. Okay, come on, Alice. Come on. Good job. Sorry about that, I want to make sure I don't hit her with something. Okay, so here we go. Okay, that ball went 40 yards. Okay? Didn't go perfectly straight. I didn't turn through enough with my body, but it was not bad. And I got good contact. Alice, what have you done to my ball? What have you done to my ball? You chewed the cover off my ball. Okay, now, at the beginning when you do this, at the very beginning when you do this, you're going to feel like you're trying to generate speed at the bottom artificially, because your brain is used to how far you can hit the ball, okay? So it's thinking this ball's not gonna go anywhere at this speed. I need to like jerk at it or do something at it. But try and train yourself to realize that you're making a super slow swing with a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, and it's only supposed to go 30 or 40 yards. Once your mind understands that, it will sequence properly and it won't try and generate speed, okay? Speed will come through width and turn in a full motion swing. Okay, here we're just going really slowly here, just trying to bunt the ball in front of us, because we're not focusing on how far it's going, we're focusing on how these body movements work, and more importantly, the connection between the brain and those body movements to change the patterns, okay? So, I think I pretty much covered it. I don't want to make this video too long. Please go back and look at my Slow It Up Bro video. That will kind of like be a good opening to this video, and it will make you realize that you're never going to get any better unless you start doing this, okay? I'm saying this because I want you to get better. I'm saying this because I found out the hard way. I started golf late. You know, I thought I could teach myself. I just went at it, you know, pounding balls with a crappy old sequencing, and I've spent the last few years trying to rectify it all. So, do some slow motion practice. Please, please, please do it. You don't do it because it's difficult. I know, and you know. That's why you don't do it. But if you're serious about getting better, you're gonna start doing it, okay? Let's just hit a couple more for fun so you can watch Alice run around like a crazy dog. All right, Allie, let's go, babe. Okay, watch it. Move. Move. Okay, you ready? See you later, tubers, with another video coming soon, okay? If you like this one, please subscribe, tell your friends, like the video. See you later. What's up, guys? Just finished making that video on slow motion drills, and I had a couple of afterthoughts I thought they were important to include in the video. So, you know, I'm a big Ben Hogan fan, okay? I've told you that before, and Ben Hogan is widely considered one of the best ball strikers in history. And he is famous for having this slow motion drill that you can actually search. You can do a search on YouTube for Ben Hogan slow motion swing, and you'll see it. You know, I think I'm pretty sure it's black and white, but it is amazing. If you watch it, it is in real time, but it looks like the video has been slowed down. You know, like if we take a video and we slow it down now with these new cameras we have, it looks like that. But this is, you know, years ago when they didn't have any of that stuff. So it's pretty impressive that he had such control over his swing that he could make it look like it was, you know, played back in slow motion. And you know, if it's good enough for the best ball striker in history, let's face it, huh? Come on. It's good enough for us. We should be doing it, okay? But it's very hard. I explained it, it's difficult, so we don't like doing it. The second thought I had was, I can hear a lot of you say, hey man, I don't see the pros doing all of this, you know. When do you see the pros practicing, okay? You don't see them at home practicing, you don't see them with their instructors practicing. You know, I'm good buddies with a pro. I know what he does, okay? Now, they don't probably have to do it as much as you and I because they started golf as kids, young, and they started with supervision. Okay, so they didn't really ingrain as many bad habits as we have. Okay, they when they're working on their swings, they're working on nuances, little tweaks here and there that are much easier to make than the changes we're trying to make. Okay, so they might not need it as much. It doesn't have to be as aggressive as you and I, but they still do it. So just remember, What applies to you and me, you know, doesn't necessarily apply to the pros and vice versa. There are a lot of commonalities, but we have to approach it from a slightly different angle because we've built up all those years of junk in our swings, and we're making like really big changes. Okay, so those are my two last thoughts. I'll see you again with another video soon. I hope you enjoyed Alice, and hope you enjoyed the scenery. Okay, I'll see you soon.